Mabuhay Kamusika. Welcome. How are you? And this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Aiza will be here soon. It looks kind of dark here in the background, but I think everything is okay as far as the screen is concerned. I missed the part. Thank you, two people, for being here. I did notice the part where it said on live, so I assume that we are on live here. I'm just going to look for some questions I would be able to ask Isa, but mostly, for the most part, I'd like other people to be able to talk to Isa, ask her questions about, well, anything you want, but we also want to talk about Westerners and what the Filipinas are looking for, at least in general, in my wife's opinion, when they are looking for um, a husband and when a husband is looking for her. So this is Love Beyond the Sea. My wife has helped me out here a couple times with the last two live streams, and I think they've done well. And thank you for four people here so far. She is on deck and going to be here very soon to talk about what a Filipino wants in a Western man. So both of us just kind of trying to shake off a nap here. I didn't have to work today. Just got back from the dentist, took a nap. I'm setting myself up for knee replacement surgery, so I'm going to be home for a while. And it's just time to replace the knee, so that's just probably just going to add to my list of surgeries. But this one's different because that knee replacement only lasts, they say, 20 years. Sometimes you can get 25. You hope to do the best you can with it, but it's time. And so in 2 weeks, when I would normally want to do another live stream and have Isa with me for that one too, I would be in the hospital because it's an overnight. So probably aren't going to risk that, but we would probably move it to the following Tuesday nonetheless, so that we can kind of keep on schedule. While I wait for Isa to get here, it's been a really good month for Love Beyond the Sea. I think the last 2 months have been good, and this month especially. And I'm very grateful for all the people that subscribe to the channel. I mean, everybody wants to be unique in their own way and true to what they're trying to accomplish. What I want to do here is just have a channel for to share my experiences with marriage with a Filipina, something I had kind of thought would be a great idea for many years. I just didn't think it was really possible. But I needed somebody to marry, and one day about 4 years ago, I decided to try international dating and look for a Filipina. It's a woman from the Philippines, and well, I did. In 54 days, we were married. So after all that time and you know all the miles it was meant to be, we got married. Hi, Dave Knutson. Thank you for stopping by. A Filipina asking to borrow money after only chatting for a month. First time. Michael and Heidi, thank you for being here.
Hello.
Isa's joined us. I wish I had a nice matching t-shirt with her. I'm sitting on a pillow, hon. It's not like I'm trying to be 3 feet taller here.
It's okay.
It just looks better that way. So Dave's question here, hon. A Filipina asking to borrow money after only chatting for a month. The first time, $250 she wants to borrow, and the second time, $50. So this may be something that has happened to him. So what do you think about that? First of all, I guess we'd have to know how long this couple has been chatting. So Dave, do you mind? I don't know if this is hypothetical or an actual situation, but it does matter. I mean, if they've been talking for 5 days and this comes up.
It does matter just for a couple days. But if you guys talk for many years, it's depend on how how long you guys known each other.
So are you saying that it is appropriate at some time for a Filipina to say, hey, you know, because of this need or that need, I really could use $250. Now, Dave clarifies, they're talking for a
Technically,
month. Talking for a
mm,
month.
talking for a month, not it's a bad impression.
It's a bad impression,
Yeah,
but would a Filipina that would make a really strong candidate to marry somebody, would she do this in a month, or would she say, you know what, it's going to make a bad impression. I don't want them to think I'm a scammer. I'm just not going to do it. So, how is he supposed to evaluate that? He's heard that asking money is a bad
it
idea.
is a
Don't
bad.
do it.
Yeah, it's a bad impression. It's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
Hmm.
And why is that?
Because see, you guys are talking for a month, and then that person borrowed money from you.
They're asking.
They're asking to borrow money. So if you give in, it's gonna continue. You know,
It's going to.
it's going to.
Well, and then he says $50 after that. So in this situation, it's already continued. And as a Westerner, hun, my concern would be once you start giving money, it becomes really easy to keep giving money. I
Yeah,
appreciate
I would.
everybody
It
here.
would be easy.
Easy to keep doing it.
Because the woman think she might think that okay, well the first time he gave money to me, so why not the second time? So it will continue.
And
It's just like I said, it's a bad impression, it's a bad idea.
well, I can tell you that I know I just said that Isa and I got married very quickly, but she did not ask me for money, even when we were engaged, and she knew I was serious about getting plane tickets and going out there and seeing her for the purpose of marrying her. She still was hesitant to ask me for money unless it was, well, part of what we needed for the wedding or any logistical things pertaining to the wedding. That, of course, that's my responsibility. But she didn't say, "Oh, great! Now that we're this close to being husband and wife, I think I need a new phone. I think I could use some of this, and I've got somebody that needs something. This guy surely now that I've got him reeled in." But you were hesitant to ask me for help even after I was going to marry you.
Hmm.
So you were trying to what? Continue to make a good impression on me,
I think so.
right? You didn't take advantage of me. Simp males buying
Dump her
Filipinas.
immediately.
Well, and that's an option.
It
Um,
is an option. It's up to Dave to make a decision.
well, now for a month, Dave could have gotten really close to this woman. It's hard to say because we don't know if the Westerner has been talking to a lot of people. That kind of dilutes how much time he could spend with this one woman. But again, I mean, you want to be careful to never have any hard and fast rules. And I appreciate the thumbs up. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. But I know there are people that will say, like Simp Males Buying Filipinas is saying, to Dave, just dump her immediately. And for only a month's time, that's legitimate. That's what Dave is going to have to think about because once he starts giving, he's going to give in his heart away piece by piece, peso by peso, and it might be really hard for him to put the brakes on. So, Isa's advice is it's not a good idea for her part to be doing that. And then we have one viewer saying just dump her and move on. And quite frankly, I can see the people at Christian Filipina saying the same thing. If I called them and said, "Hey, I've been talking to, Julie 106285, and that's her profile number, for example, and she's just asked me for money twice," probably they would say, just move on, not worth the trouble. Just move on. So, Parabiology 101, a new
He's
face,
new.
and thank you for
Welcome
being
to our
here.
channel.
Yeah, and we appreciate giving the information. I know. I mean, I went through the process from my perspective, but this is the person I married. She's going to have a perspective that's going to be different from mine. Now her friends saying you're rich. Well, yeah, but it may not be that he's rich. And Michael agrees that's just too soon. It may seem like it because $250 plus another 50 could be a month's worth.
300, yeah, $300. That's more or less 15,000.
15,000 pesos. You could be giving a month's wages, and that's probably a good place to start because it's not enough to break him. I could see the 50 coming first, and then the 250 after that. But probably best to the right Filipina is not going to want. She knows the reputation of asking for money. She's probably done a little homework that foreigners are not are going to be not going to be keen on that, so she's probably not going to do
that's
it.
That's actually the bad part of. That's why we have that stereotype, because some Filipinos ask money, even if, just like I said, it's too soon.
Have you known anybody
No,
that's been asking, say, I just met some foreigner and I think I'm going to ask him for some money?
no.
You've never known anybody personally to do that?
No.
That's interesting. Yeah, Dave's.
But I've heard, I heard to other people.
Well, and you can probably tell too, because now they're walking around with a cell phone and clothes and purse, or going to an island vacation. And it's like, where did they get the money for that?
Exactly.
So that's another sign, and she can get used to that pretty easy. So yeah, Dave was not sent any money.
That's good. That's good.
Now,
don't do it.
Before I forget, one thing I wish I had brought up last week was the topic of tempo, and so I just wanted to bring it in here now. Tempo.
Yeah.
Tempo.
That would be okay.
Okay. In your definition, what is tempo? And why does a foreigner need to know about it?
Well, it's our term. It's like you get mad to your husband, but it doesn't mean that you are really upset with that person. It's just you have to kind of make some move to make her feel good, better. Don't just ignore your woman. All you have to do is just talk to that woman, or maybe just do some sweet moves or actions. It's just something like that.
Okay, so that's interesting. So you would advise a Westerner, if you come into tempo, and I appreciate the thumbs up, I really do, to not give her space.
Yeah.
He might be thinking, okay, she's upset. I'm going to leave her alone for half a day or a day or something.
That will be worse.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah.
And it's not a good idea to try to say, come on, talk to me. What did I do? What's your problem here? I mean, that's a bad idea also, you're saying? Okay, so
I'd rather just do something sweet moves.
This is very important for you Westerners. If you're with a Filipino now, you're going to be, or you're already married and dealing with it, or you've read about it. Aiza's opinion seems to be it's not as harmful as other people are saying. She's saying, and I did a video on this, by the way. It's a live stream. It's not all that long. It's about tempo, how to deal with it, with the experiences that I've had. And I think my wife hasn't really, Aiza really hasn't, driven me crazy with that. I can't remember the last time she even did anything close to it. But what I've learned, hon, is that
What?
she's not wanting to drive me away and make me angry. She's wanting me to come up to her, acknowledge that I've done something to hurt her feelings, and be sweet, be gentle. Don't nag her to snap out of it, because I don't want this to last for days. Not to just ignore her, go out and do my own thing. It's just something to keep in mind from my wife's perspective. She's
Phil's the
saying,
Phoenix and
you
hi,
know,
Phil's the Phoenix. Is it Cindy
that's Cindy and John.
and
So
John?
you
Hi,
come
Cindy and
across
John.
Tempo, she's saying, don't overreact, don't get mad, don't leave her and give her the silent treatment in return. Just say, hon, okay, I think I know what I did, and I'm sorry. I wish I could take it back. Please forgive me. And she's probably gonna snap out of that tempo sooner than later.
Biology 101. I
Yeah.
was literally watching your video on questions to ask Filipina before marriage when I saw the live stream pop up.
Well, just then it's
Thank you
divine,
for visiting.
divine intervention, and just keep the questions coming. And he also says, at the very least, you should have met her in person before giving money. And obviously, if it's going to be 2 or 3 years before they've met, then I suppose the greater the likelihood that she'll ask for money. If it's shorter than that, then she probably hasn't. And if she can wait several months, 3 or 4 or 5 months, and he's eager to meet her, goes out to the Philippines, they're hitting it off, they seem to have a good time, well, then she's gotten somewhere. Then it's up to her to think, okay, is he going to be offended if I ask for money? And at some point, though, you do have to talk about it. Somebody has to break the ice. And maybe it's the guy saying, hey, sweetheart, do you have anything I can help you with? Any pressing need? I don't know. You just have to play it by ear. She might really, you'll get there, visit her, see her, meet her, see where she's living and everything. And then you may say, okay, if she asks me for money, I know why. It's legit. She's not trying to fool me. When I chat her, I see in the background lots of purses, bags. Okay, thinking, where did that money come from?
That's very suspicious.
So, Dave Knutson, is she talking from home? I had the pleasure when I talking to Aiza, she was always at home. She was never in an internet cafe, and that doesn't mean that's a bad thing, but she was always at home where I got a good look at people moving around. Everything she was saying, people in the family heard. It's not like, she was in private and would say something, that they would be offended by. I mean, they heard everything that she said.
Did you see that? The bottom one.
So I guess I'd like to know, where is she, Dave, at home? And I'll scroll down there, hon. I just don't want to miss these up here. So you'd say that'd be kind of suspicious for a guy. You see a array of shoes and purses and clothes, maybe that could be a sign. Anyway, Phil to Phoenix, thanks, John, for being here. Glad you and Cindy both returned in one piece. And Cindy is getting her citizenship. I believe she already has it, or she's this close. I'm not sure the process exactly, because Aiza hasn't gone through that. But I was literally watching your video on questions to ask a Filipina, and I've got several of those before marriage when I saw the live stream. So now you can ask me questions, or you can ask Aiza questions, or you can ask her what would make a good question. And I appreciate the thumbs up. Works, but not as of late because lack of work. So you were speaking with her at her employment? Is that what you're saying?
Well, somebody asked if the woman is working.
Oh.
Somebody asked that, and then he replied with that.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see the original question. Not as of late. Well, yeah. I mean, if she's not working, I suppose that would increase the likelihood that she does have needs. But even so, I think she would want to exercise some restraint in asking. But that's just my general feeling of it. Fit couple in the Philippines. This is Doug and Marky. Thank you for joining the live stream tonight. Do you think it's better to live in the USA, far from your family in the Philippines, or live in the Philippines, but on another island? This is very, very appropriate question.
Mm, is he asking me what?
Oh yeah, well I hope he's asking you because I'm interested in hearing what you say about this. Do you think it's better to live in America, far away from your family in the Philippines, or we live in the Philippines together, but we're separated by another island?
Well, in my situation, since I'm here, of course, I wanna try to live here and see what's USA. Try, try the lifestyle here. What it's, what it's like to live here. And then, but right now, I wanna, I wanna actually move to the Philippines. I mean, Philippines is a home for me. I already tried to live here, and I mean, life is tough here. It's fast, you know.
Would you like some coffee, huh?
It's okay.
It's fast, it's busy, we're
It's
working a
busy,
lot.
and yeah,
Seems like you're always working.
and and aside from that, it's away from the family. You feel kind of. I'm not lonely, I'm not lonely, but there were times that I feel lonely. I wanna see I wanna see my family. I wanna see kids. It's it's way different from here. When you go out, you don't see anyone. It's different.
Yeah, well,
And
I'm concerned
living and
about
there's
that
a
too.
and then the other one is or live in the Philippines, but on the other island. No, I won't do that. I'd rather I'd rather live nearby my family.
How nearby, huh?
Uh, few blocks.
Few blocks. And do you
Yeah, few
think,
blocks.
I know you can't speak for every other Filipina, but
Yeah, I mean,
would they feel, I think,
family is family.
family is very important. I think Doug is thinking here about splitting the difference. Well, if we can't
That's why there's.
live in this country, then let's go to the Philippines, but let's not live next door neighbors to your family.
I
Option.
I mean, it's up to you guys, but to me, I'd rather live nearby with my family.
And that's what we plan on doing when we're there. Um, and that's in fact that's another video idea that you just mentioned there that I've already written. I think Doug, I just haven't. I've got so many of them already written out that I kind of decide which one I'm going to go to first. And I got like 240 videos topics. Most of them are written, but not all of them. But that's one of them. Do you live on the same island? Do you live two islands apart? A lot of guys say, well, if you want to have what's best for your marriage is stay several islands apart.
Uh,
What's best for the
it's
foreigner, I'm
depending on how you
sure.
handle the situation, how you handle your your family itself, your marriage. You have to at least talk to your family. Like, hey, we're not rich. We can't give you much money or every day. We can't do that because we have our own needs, and I think they will understand that.
Well, and yes, a lot of you're the point man, so to speak. The Filipina needs to be the one to speak for her husband because she can
I
speak the
know
language and
there's
she
some
knows
families
how it
that
is.
really really hard to understand that because they think that we guys are rich, especially that you are here, especially if you live in the United States and then you go back to the Philippines, they think that you're rich, but it's not. It's just sometimes just really hard to for them to understand that.
Especially when I go back to the
Yeah,
Philippines, I want to spend some money down.
because
It's a vacation. I don't want to go and just stay locked up inside, which further makes it look like we're loaded if I'm saying, hey, let's go over here. Let's go visit this place. Let's take the
And
family
then
over there.
and then in the Philippines we live day to day life, live. And then here we gotta save up money. You gotta save up for this. You gotta save up for this. Things like that. And in the Philippines, no. I mean, the mindset it's totally different. I can, yeah, I can. It's also happened to me. Sometimes I have that attitude that oh, it's okay. I don't have to save up, and then gonna. So I still have that same kind of mindset because I used to be like that. I grow up like that. So I kind of weigh myself and still adjusting. You know, but just like what I said, we live in a daily basis. So that's why they think if you have money in one, you have um more than money in one day, they think you're rich. Especially if you live here and go back to the Philippines, they think, oh, you're rich.
Because we
It's just
have
too
more than
hard.
one day to live on.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it's really hard to explain it to them.
Now, sometimes, I mean, this is another decision that the Filipino must make. If they want to move to the Philippines and they want to live close but not too close, they have to decide, well, how close is close enough? Because she will want to be able to get there. I mean, hun, let's say they live 2 hours away. I don't know if that's another island or not,
That's
but
another city.
another city. Do you think that's close enough to be close, but not so close
Yeah,
that you don't have your privacy? Because I'm sure for the Westerner, you'd like a little privacy.
yeah. I mean, I understand also the culture, because sometimes Bob is like that. He wants his privacy. He don't want kids running around, and I understand that because same as here, life is like that.
Well, we're on vacation. I certainly want to meet the family, but when it's for real and all the
Yeah.
time, I mean, who knows? We have a
Where we at
question
now,
here. Well,
hon?
right here by
Home?
Dave. Home, yes, but has to move with her dad because she can't pay the rent. So there is that money issue that she has communicated to him. Parabiology 101. I want to eventually move to the Philippines, but not going to be able to for at least 7 to 10 years, debating whether I should try to find one now or wait until I move there. Haven't tried to meet yet. So I assume you're talking about finding a
Yeah,
Filipina.
yeah, I think so.
So
So he's debating it himself if he's gonna try to find one or wait until later.
in 7 to 10 years, hon,
Mm,
that's a
that's
long way. And I
yeah.
don't know. It depends on how old this man is.
Why not now? And in that way, before you move there, you develop a connection to the person, to the woman,
Well, she'd probably
and
have to get married and
yeah,
then live here for a
yeah, and
while,
know that
though.
person before you move to the Philippines.
Yeah, that's an option.
Mm,
But then 7 to 10 years is plenty of time to get to know her really well and immigrate her here, with the thought that yeah, one day I do really want to move back to the Philippines. I mean, if you're 40 years old, for example, and a lot of people are getting younger and younger that are looking for Filipinas. 7 to 10 years is one thing when you're 40, and when you're 53, like I was, operating a little bit greater sense of urgency. Um, but just keep looking at other people's videos and see what you can glean from their comments. Um, yeah, but we plan on settling over in the Philippines. And Dave, talking about Dave Knudsen, maybe he's new in dealing with Filipinas, possibly. Don't deny what you have seen. He thinks he's scamming her, or she is scamming him and using him. So this is the view that if she's asking for money that soon, just
is that
just just
so
move
nice?
on.
Is
And
that
I understand that. This is a new viewer here, and then we have Simo Travel Logs. Thank you for being here. He says my girlfriend works away in week as teacher, speaks to me great, and and loads. But when she goes back to CDO, to her family weekends, 1 a.m. off work. Are you in the Philippines? Probably are, with the name of your channel, Travel
Mm,
Vlogs.
no, I think not.
Well, if she goes back to CDO, she must be pretty close to there to visit her family on the weekends when he is off work. I'm not sure all of
My
those
Jeep works away
dynamics.
and week as a teacher and speak to me great and loans. But when she goes back to CDO to her family weekends when I'm off work.
Oh, you mean so you want to be able to see her and then she's not as available because she's with her family? Um,
Mm.
if that's the case, then I think that would limit
I do like that.
the
Why
time you
did you
can
avoid
speak.
my question? Where's the question?
I don't know, where is that question?
Oh, that one that males buying Filipinas.
Well, where are we?
Dave, you must be a newbie in dealing with Filipinas. Don't deny what you have seen. She's scamming you and using you. No good Filipino would ask you for money. That's true.
Okay, Aiza has spoken on this one. I mean, and who knows, she might, but in all likelihood, with the popularity of Westerners um, dating Filipinas, likely she knows that
Likely,
she has to be really, really careful about asking for money. She may say, I'll try, but then she may end up losing the guy
no good
in the
Filipino would ask for
process.
money. Yeah, that's true, huh?
Phil's to Phoenix. I don't know what I just deleted there. That's part of the reason we're looking to move an island over, close enough to be there fast, but if needed, but not so close to home to have knock on the door at dinner time. And that's an option, you know.
Yeah.
But if somebody makes it basically impossible, you know, for her to see each other, then what's the difference between that and being in a whole other country? Because the bottom line is she's not going to be able to. It's going to be real tough for her to see her family that she really loves. Fit couple in the Philippines. Currently, we have a place built on her family's compound, and so
That means they're living in one place.
now, Doug,
Same as
you're in the Philippines, are you not? Sometimes Doug has a channel, Fit Couple in the Philippines. I can't always tell if he's going back and forth, but yeah, we're gonna, and I think that's another option. If they've got a lot of land, and some people do, you can build a
Yeah.
place right there on that land.
I have some relatives like that, and they live in one compound.
Phil's Phoenix, we had the Rich Cano incident this last week with an older aunt showing up with a handout asking for money. Thankfully, her mama handled the situation for us. Yeah, that's just.
Yeah. Most of the time it happens like that. Most of the time.
Well, it breaks my heart when we're in the Philippines and remember we went to the pharmacy to get something and then, you know, somebody needed something and Aiza knows the lay of the land, so she knows whether it's something we should help out or not. You know, it's something I have to rely on her for. Parabiology 101, yeah, 7-10 years is a long time. 47 now, great shape, and don't look my age. So yeah, being younger allows you more time to get information like this.
Yeah, keep doing it.
And planning your move because you know it's a big one because it's very easy to fall in love uh, with a Filipina and sent mails by Filipinas. And I hope I didn't avoid the question if you're talking about scamming. I think Aiza answered that. That
Yeah, I think
no, she shouldn't be asking him for money, and he's better off just saying, well, there's a lot of other women out there, so that's what I'm going to do. JBud 5000 is back tonight. Thanks, JBud. Best solution. She lives with her family, and you have your own place. She comes over when you want to hang out. MGTOW gets it right again. So that's the MGTOW option. Is kind of having it your way, having it her way, but then it kind of misses the selling out to what's best for the Filipina. But you're married to somebody, yeah, she's going to want to be nearby her family. Hun, do you get lonely here after 4 years of marriage? Do you ever feel like you wish you were back there now?
Well, there were times, to be honest, there were times.
We've visited several times already.
Well, just like what I've mentioned, that when you go out, it's I didn't see anyone, not even the neighbors.
Yeah, we don't see neighbors here. I
No,
think we have neighbors. We got some nice houses out there, but um,
I
never
don't
see
see them.
anybody drive
I
around.
don't even know my neighbors.
Well, I don't either. I
I
never
don't
did
know
when I
them.
lived in an apartment either. Parabiology 101. I'm worried about taking Filipina to the United States and getting citizenship. USA seems to destroy marriages and lead to divorce due to feminist culture here and age gap. What a girl in 20s to have kids with you. Want a girl in 20s to have kids with me. Um, yeah, well, we
Uh,
haven't had any trouble with that, but again, anytime you're concerned about something like that, think
there are
about it.
people, and there are people that it happened to them.
Well, in general, it's kind of not a
Mm-hmm.
good environment
Yeah,
here in this country. And then his concern is a very natural one. Bring her over here, and she sees, wow, things are a lot looser and liberal here than in the
so it's
Philippines,
easy to
especially if she's from the
it's
province.
easy to file a divorce.
Yeah, and
Mm.
nobody wants to go to the trouble of losing your
Yeah,
heart to a Filipina, helping her out, meeting her, visiting everybody, bringing her over, and then she gets affected by some feminism and leaves her. But there are other, by the way, parabiology. There are other couples. If you look around on the internet, that are philam couples like we are, and they seem to be doing fine. It's not a
mm-hmm.
guarantee that
We actually have how many?
you're rolling the dice.
Four,
Oh,
four
I
Filipino couples that
us.
we.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we know people. They don't have YouTube channels, but they're married. Aiza works with some,
yeah,
and so that must be more
they're
common
happily married.
than I even know. So it can happen, and I think they all have age gaps as well.
Mm-hmm.
Fit couple in the Philippines. I'm back and forth for work, but bring Margie. Is it Margie or Margie?
Margie.
Traveling with me with work. Well, that's good for her then.
Mm-hmm.
If you're able to go back and forth, I think Doug is a little bit on the younger side. Uh, Dave, thanks for both of your opinions. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, guys. Yeah, I appreciate the thumbs up. We're here to try to help you guys out. I don't want to share all the bounty. I want to pass on what I've learned, and Isa just makes this channel better. So, uh, oh, let's see the watch. All right, he wants to see this watch. It's gonna fade in and out. This is my watch. Have I taken it off, hon, since you gave it to me?
Yeah. No, no, you
Better view.
never.
I'm
You
not
never.
giving the Duterte fist here. I'm trying to show you the watch that I love it. I think I could get used to this. Now, if you see me take a shower with it, tell me I'm getting overboard.
Yeah,
I guess
that's too much.
because I shouldn't be doing that. Um, Michael and Heidi, yeah, it's very true. Better know her heart first before you marry her. Somebody just rang the doorbell. We don't have many doorbell ringings here, but um, I think we'll probably just have to let that one
My
go.
mom is upstairs.
Yeah. Now, so you talked about, Han, that Filipinos can think, oh, the Westerners, they must be loaded. Is there any other perceptions a woman in the Philippines has in general about a man from the West?
Uh,
True or not, just perceptions?
Perception. That's actually it is. If you're from here, that means you're loaded.
Well, how about personality traits or something like that? Do you anything like aside from the
Well,
wealth
we
issue?
believe that you guys are one woman, one man, one woman. We think that. I do think that.
Filipinos think that men here are one women men.
And
Focusing on my Isa, and I just don't have any room in my life for thinking about anyone else. But you're saying that you think the Westerners have a perception of they're being more loyal. Maybe they find a woman and they stick with her.
yeah,
Well, That's interesting, because, and hopefully there are guys like that looking for
Well,
women.
guys are guys.
Guys are guys,
But
but
that's
from
yeah.
here,
But
so
I
many
think
have been.
that's the Filipinos' perspective.
Okay. Well, that only makes, it easier for her to say, if I'm communicating with somebody, he's probably serious about me. And that may or may not be true. Um, so, hun, well, first of all, we have a question here. Yeah, know her
Wait, wait.
heart before you marry her, Michael and Heidi. Um, I felt that Isa was a very caring woman, hardworking. I love that uh, she cared about her family. Her friends said, you know, talked about how generous that she was, and you know, I like that. She's a loving, caring, sweet woman. And Parabiology 101, Michael and Heidi, thank you. Yes, good advice. I've learned it's hard to really know what is in a woman's heart. And that is the $64,000 question. So let me try to phrase it this way, hon. How does a Westerner know if a Filipina is going to be a kind-hearted woman that he can trust for the rest of his life? What are the signs he can trust her? That she has a good heart.
If that woman loves her family first, that will be. Second, um, don't don't involve in any illegal thing, such as drugs, gambling. Me personally, I don't drink. So, because my thought is, if it's not good for a woman to drink, because it's it's to me it doesn't look good. That's my own perspective. Um, because that means a woman cares about her her health, her body, and overall don't do illegal things, um, and could be trustworthy and have faith.
Faith in
Yeah,
God. Now you talk
because
about,
if you have faith, if you afraid to do, if you have God in your life, that means you are afraid to do stupid things, and it makes you a better person. And I believe that.
and that was something that I was looking for in a wife myself, somebody with good morals. Now it's interesting you say, well, that she loves her family. Are there any Filipinas that you know of that,
Oh
for
yeah,
some reason, aren't close to their
there are
family?
some, huh, there are some that really don't respect their family, don't love their family. They just abandon. Doesn't really care. If a person is like that, how much more? How could she take care of you if she doesn't care herself, her family?
Very good point.
How could that person take care of you? How could that person love you?
Hmm.
How could that person respect you?
Right. So if you find a Filipina and she says, "Oh, I'm more like in the West. I'm not, I don't
Much
have
more
that feeling
liberating.
for my family. Yeah, I kind of do my own thing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
different." That may be a big red flag
Uh-huh.
too. I think it's just safer you find someone that really loves her family, and the flip side to all this is if the man can learn to embrace, excuse me, embrace her family. I think he's on the fast track to having success with her. Um, and then Phil Phoenix's Parabiology 101. Actually, a foreigner not
Where
wanting
we're
kids
done
is
too.
is often, I don't want kids, and was able to find a Filipina that didn't either. Just be upfront and honest either way about having children. And that was another
Another
question
question.
on my list. Do all
Did you
Filipinas?
did you ask me that, honey?
Nope, not yet. I will now, though, since we brought it up here. Do all
No, no,
Filipinas?
before.
When I was just kind of
Well,
running through some things.
you asked me if I want kids, and I said
Oh,
to
did
you.
I ask you about children? I
I think
don't
you I
know.
think you did.
But it was probably,
But I said it's okay if if we can
We got
say
married
that.
so quick. That's one of the things we probably didn't get into as much as we could have. A lot of it, I just wanted to get it going, get it built, and start building from the foundation up. But do you think most Filipinos still want children?
Yeah, at least 95%.
95%. So if
Mm-hmm.
she's 30 years old,
Like
28 to
30.
30, which is a good age
Oh
to
yeah,
marry
that
someone,
age
probably
they want.
100% chance she wants a
Oh,
baby.
they, absolutely, they
And
want babies.
yes, they want babies. It's important to know this
Mm-hmm.
about a Filipina. So
I
let's just
think and
be honest
being a
about
woman
that.
and it makes you complete if you have kids.
Well, and I understand that, I need to learn not just about women. When I was looking to marry Aiza, I need to learn about women in the Philippines. It's a cultural difference. They're different, they're different than we are, and I'm still learning about her today. But chances are she's going to want to have children. I agree with John. Just be honest with her when you talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, here are some identifiers in faith. Okay, thank you. Does she respect you? And will
Does
she
she
also
really?
let you lead? Yeah, thanks, Michael. Excellent response to the man's question about how can I identify her heart or get a glimpse into her heart. In addition to Isa's answers, um, Michael says here, does she respect you? And Hun, how would you show me your respect before we're married? We can't practice for all these answers, so they just come up. Well,
if uh, when it comes to decision making, um, I respect your own decision.
well, we got to. I want to respect hers, and she wants to respect mine. So, if we're going to be respectful, we both kind of have to work together. In the early stages, though, they're not married, and but at some point, you need. I would say one way for respect is that you know that when he wants to show up and talk to her, that she's on time. That to me, that would be disrespectful. If he says we got our Skype chat, I'm coming home, I'm eating
So you're
dinner,
just talking about
dating.
dating.
Okay, now
Oh,
here I
not
am.
not
It's
not as a
yeah,
married
it's
couple.
7 o'clock,
Okay.
and I'm going to bed soon, but I blocked out this time, and she's not there. Or you're going to talk to her in the morning before you go to work, and she's late. She's not there. Isa was never late.
Oh,
I
really, Han?
always no,
I
you
was
were
never late.
no, you were on
Well,
time. I didn't even think about it, and that was respectful because
I
she
didn't
knew
even
I wanted to talk to her.
I don't even remember that.
I know it was like 4 years and 5 months ago, but Isa was respectful in the short time I knew her by just simply being on time. And will she let you lead? We talked about that, and you know that's uh, that's something we don't even have time to talk about in a video here. I did do a live stream about submission and headship. If you want to look for that, but that's something you really get into when you're married. But I suppose that's a good question. Look for ways that she's showing she respects you. I really hadn't thought about that. Um, Parabiology, yeah, I want children for sure. Otherwise, I wouldn't get married. Hopefully, multiple kids. Boy, a Filipino loves to hear that. That's part of why I want a Filipino. It seems more faithful if you find a good one. I don't think there's anything better than finding a good, faithful Filipino. This man wants children, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, I think you move up. If you're on a dating site, for example, and you indicate, and that's usually a question, do you have children? Do you want children? Are you open to having children? The man that says, yeah, I
That's a
want
plus.
children,
Hey, that's a plus
you
one.
you just went right to the head of the line. You get a free pass to the head of the line. And I don't know when we talked about this. We've certainly talked about it now, but that's good for you. Can men find Filipinas that already have children? They've had a vasectomy. They don't want to have children. I'm sure they can. I just think there's a lot greater chance for the man that says, I'm hungry for children. I want to start a family. I want you to be the mother of my children. Um, yeah, very good questions. They want Western babies. They like the eyes and the nose. Yeah, this is true. This is
Yep.
true, Dave. Not gonna argue with
I'm not.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, great question, Ties, about knowing how to tell if she respects you. Thanks. Um, some of that is just going to come from your gut, I think. If you walk away from a few conversations and you're thinking, boy, I that just didn't click as well as it was, or that it's just something seems strained about us. Maybe there's some respect issue there going on. And I'm sure when we're done, I'll think about some more ways. But that is an interesting question. Now,
Where are we at now?
how about this? It's on guys' mind. Does the Western man need to be rich,
Not rich, but at least afford to live.
afford to live, um, pay bills,
Mm-hmm.
not struggle, not
And
be stressed out with worry?
because it affects your marriage. If if um if you struggle to live, it affects your marriage.
So he doesn't have to make 100,000 a year.
No, not really necessarily. At least enough to live.
I mean, a man could tell a Filipina, I make 50,000 USD a year, which is like what, 2.5 million pesos? And she might think, oh man, I've struck it rich.
Yeah.
He may live in a part of the country, like he may live in California.
Probably, Han.
50,000 is like, I'm
Probably, if
sorry
you're
to
in the
hear that. I
Philippines,
mean,
if
I'm
if
kidding.
you if you tell that to your woman, and then she's in the Philippines, and then you tell that to your woman, she she might think that, oh yeah, that this person is so rich, but they didn't know how to live, like what it's like to live here. We have so much bills, and they don't understand that. They don't know that, like everything
Yeah,
that involves money.
you go to the mailbox and you're thinking,
Yeah,
oh, I hope these are for my mom.
yeah.
And for me, it's probably some bill. But
Bills.
yeah, a Filipina could tell me what she makes, in the Philippines, and it wouldn't matter to me how many zeros are at the end of it. I would have no idea. I guess the higher the number, the better it sounds. But over here, that 50,000 a year that I mentioned, that can disappear in a hurry.
Oh yeah.
And I suppose the Filipina just has to tell her family, well, we got garbage and
We
we've
got
got
car bills with
car,
insurance.
we just pay your car licensing, which is
Yeah.
different than insurance or repairs,
Mm-hmm.
rent,
Even house repairs.
little things around the house.
That is why I have to learn how to turn on and off the sprinklers.
So we don't spend too much
So
on the
that I
water.
don't spend $100. Because um if you call somebody to come here and turn on your sprinklers, it costs you $100. So
Turn
what
on
I
the
did,
sprinklers, huh? What are
yeah,
you talking about? Turn on the sprinklers.
turn on and off the sprinklers,
You're talking about
the
the
sprinkler system.
system.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad Aiza knows how to do it because I
I
sure
have
don't.
to know. So those are the things that you have to pay.
Water bill.
Water bills.
Water bill was just under $200. Well, that was for the 2 months. Yeah, I never got one bill, and then they doubled it. They doubled it up. So you're talking about $100 a month just to water your lawn. I don't even know how it was that much. And we must have stopped raining for a week or so. But yeah, all kinds of bills here, and this is why I work still as much as I can. Isa works. It's just the reality of living here. Much different standard of living in the Philippines. That's why many people can try to live on their Social Security, which, of course, is our goal too. Let's go back up here to
Define rich.
define rich. Does the Filipino does the Westerner have to be rich? Was my question.
Hmm.
So, what
I think it's
you're
already
looking for
answered.
somebody? How about this? Is it fair, Han, to say, well, he doesn't have any debts?
That's good enough.
Not counting the house, because most people that have a house are owing on that
That's more
house.
than enough. Not just good enough, but more than enough.
Not being in debt. You
Mm-hmm.
can pay your needs
Still,
and
mm-hmm.
responsibilities. So there's one definition for you. Yeah, Cindy makes more than he does. He says, your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. First time I've
Okay,
seen that.
we're good now.
Okay, so everybody's still here. Yeah, good question. Rich, can you pay your bills? You're not in debt. You don't have to have $500,000 in the bank. Um,
What's that?
Phyllis is asking Parabiology 101, how long have you two been together? I think he was 47-year-old man.
Phil Stephens already answered it. Because I think parabiology was asking Phil Stephens. Okay, let's go here. Here.
This one here.
What's that?
Well, Michael, Heidi, from the abundance of your heart, the mouth speaks, and so does her actions. If she has a mean heart and doesn't respect you, don't ignore it. I say move on. So
that's a good advice.
You can tell what's in her heart by how she speaks, how she responds. If she doesn't listen to you, if you got to keep trying to get her attention, if she doesn't listen to or respect her parents, she speaks badly of her parents, breaks the law, acts very careless. Why expect that to get better anytime soon? So yeah, just move on.
Cost of living, parabiology 101. Cost of living is crazy here in California.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, and I didn't know you lived in California.
50,000 is
Yeah.
practically
Poverty level.
Oh man.
That was just an example. Well, we know Jeff moved from California because it was so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And Phil's Phoenix, I've been married 5 years. Aiza and I, believe it or not, hon, 4 years and 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's just incredible. Yeah, California, that does make a difference where you live. If you're in Montana or South Dakota, it'll be cheaper. There won't be many people around. And then he's asking John, do you live in Philippines or USA? And John actually lives in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. Dave, from what I hear, the middle of the road job in the Philippines is $300 a month. Is that right, hon? Middle of the road, 300 a month. I would say. Is that too high?
Too high a little bit.
A little bit too high, because that would be $10 a day. That would be pretty good money.
Oh well, in Manila.
In Manila,
it's depending on where, which area where you at.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think in Davao, I think 350 or 375 now per day, which is more or less $10,200 to rent.
Yeah, that's dollars. Phil's Phoenix. Yes, you have. I saw your video, John, on quarterly American budget videos in pesos for Filipinos to help them see what the basic living costs are here, and that kind of puts things in perspective. And John's in Phoenix. Yeah, John's got a channel, Phil's to Phoenix. I think we both subscribe to each other. Are Filipinas picky?
I am.
You're a Filipina. Others, I mean, everybody has different standards, but some people, wonder about that.
I'm picky. I'm picky.
What kind of things are you picky about?
Sometimes I'm picky of food. The arrangement in the house.
Yeah, well, I have heard Filipinos love to be organized, take great pride in their surroundings.
So are you talking about picky to?
Oh, just in general, picky with men, picky with anything.
Oh, with men? No. I'm not. I don't look the outside. I look what's inside.
I've heard that before.
That's me. I mean, that's my, you know.
And I think that's great, hon. I wish women here in America were giving that impression that what that Mr. Nice Guy had a chance here in America. So I do think yeah. I
Because
mean,
you're, because later on the day, you have to, not just because you're marrying that person because he's handsome, he's a great body. Hey, later on it will fade away. but but the heart and how the man respects you, that's more important. How he cares about you, that's really important. It, not the looks, not having a six packs abs. No, I
I mean,
don't.
my six pack ab doesn't blow you away.
No, no way.
All right, I can't get away with it because of my six pack abs. Um, but that's something the character that I talk about looking for a Filipina. Filipina wants character. I mean, she doesn't want to be treated like an
Mm,
object. She values somebody that has a good heart, wants to take care of her, treat
and
her
value
right,
you as a woman, as a wife.
treasure her as a Filipina. Absolutely. Um, so that gives a Mr. Nice Guy a chance if he's a nice guy. That
Yeah,
that
that's why it's easy to fall in love to a person who have a good heart.
I'm glad it is that way too. Absolutely. Fit couple in the Philippines. If a Filipina doesn't respect her parents, and her dad is not a good provider and hard worker, and her mom doesn't keep a nice home, the Filipina will be better based on her upbringing. So I know when Isa is respectful of her parents. Her dad, was working.
There's always arguments. That's we can't deny the fact that there's always arguments. But at the end of the day, you guys are kind of family.
Hmm. So he's
There's always arguments, no matter what. There's always, but at least at the end of the day, you guys still helping each other.
says the Filipino will be better based on her upbringing. So what essentially you're saying there is to keep an eye on her family. If you visit her, observe how her father treats her mother. The environment that she grew up in, because that's what
It could,
she's used to.
well, yeah, the it could actually affect you, the upbringing, if if there's a good environment at home, that means the upbringing of the kids much better.
John
It's
certainly agrees with you, Doug. Absolutely. If her parents are together, that's a
mhm.
good thing. If
And they
they're
value their marriage.
value the marriage, working
Yeah,
hard.
it really affects the kids. You're like, oh, okay, well, my parents value their marriage. There's always arguments. But just like I said, there's always arguments. But at the end of the day, they're still married or they're still family. Then you know, there's no question without that. It will help. It will help you as a better person as well, because you look up to that person, to those people.
Yeah, that's what she's been exposed to. And it's interesting he mentions keeping a nice house. I mean, if it looks like the place has been condemned and it's just from neglect, lack of care, then that may be the way your Filipina regards your
Mm-hmm.
place. Isa's place is well done. You can look at our place. I know from the house she was at when I married her. It's always neat, clean, organized. I like that,
No, because my mom is very strict.
and so are you. I mean, you, yeah. Um, I have it good here with this little woman. And Phyllis Phoenix, both of Cindy's parents are very hardworking, family oriented, and it shows in Cindy's manner and personality. So yeah,
That
keep an eye on her
that's
parents, hun. And while we're thinking of parents, is that the one family group that the Filipino is most interested in taking care of, helping financially, is mama and papa?
yeah.
Not the
Mom,
whole family.
no,
You marry the Filipino, you marry the whole family. You've heard.
Most like most likely it's the parents.
Do Filipinos care about the way a man dresses himself? Westerner, his
Oh yeah,
his clothes.
care about the way men. I do. I do care about because it reflects me, eh, as as a as a wife. Because if a wife doesn't care about her man, then she doesn't care about herself as well. I
See,
mean, you can look at the way how he dressed up. Come on, hon. Come on, no, don't show that.
I'm proud of my wife.
No, please.
Yeah, Isa does care about appearance. So I guess what that would mean for gentlemen out there looking for a Filipina, when you're online,
I
take care of
I
your
don't like
appearance.
I don't like when he's wearing some kind of rug. I don't know.
Oh,
if we
rags, clothes.
Yeah, if we go out, if he goes out, it's like, hey, come on, wear something nice. If he goes to work, wear something nice because it reflects on me.
Yeah, well, and this is a good thing. She might look in your wardrobe and when she's with you and start making some changes or suggestions, but I think that's a good thing. She does care. So when you're out there talking to her online, wear a decent shirt. You know, believe it or not, my hair used to be just a little bit longer than this. Believe it or not, and
I probably have pictures of that
well,
then.
we won't go there because I'm used to my short hair now.
They should know that
No,
how you look like.
they shouldn't know that. They just take my word for it. I like my hair now. Uh,
I like it, show it to
no,
them.
you won't. I like my new clothes. Isa Filipina notices those things. So if you're on camera, I'm not saying you have to wear a three-piece suit, but look like your meeting with her means something to you enough to get cleaned up, take a shower, put on a decent shirt, and it is a date, really, even though you're so far away. So watch your appearance, the things that you can actually do something about, because she does care about that. And yeah, Cindy normally dresses me before we go out. Yeah. Well, many times I have seen Isa lay my clothes out for me to wear, or she'll roll up my sleeves if she doesn't like the way I rolled up my sleeves. Don't get annoyed at this. This is a good thing. And this is a good thing. Fit couple in the Philippines says, yeah, pay attention to the environment your Filipino was brought up in. Get to know her family. Spend time in the Philippines before you get too serious. Absolutely. I always cringe if somebody wants to bring a Filipino over and they don't go and see where they're from. You know, I can't imagine marrying Isa without having gone and seen the Philippines. It actually made me fall more in love with her because, I could feel the heat, I could see where she was from. And, I had never even looked at film of the Philippines, video of the Philippines, documentaries, really didn't do any research. All I knew was Davao is a progressive city and supposed to be safe. So, huge plus going there, meeting your parents, and let her family meet you. That's also important for her to get their impressions of you. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yeah, helps to know what to look for. Before Cindy, I was a biker. Black
Shirts
t-shirts.
and jeans.
Whoops, let's get rid of this thing here.
Just
I'm going to clear, go away. Okay. Okay, well, now you got to have pictures. Black t-shirts and jeans were all I owned, even before we met in person. She was, yeah, starting to change how I dress. She is always um, accepting of how I chose to dress, but has taught me how to dress properly. Um, and so, Western men, if you feel like there's something that's untouchable, um, that could be a sticking point. And I didn't, I didn't protest too much. Probably more on my hair than I did the clothes, because your hairstyle is it's like your the clothes you wear. It's who you are.
Oh
And but
man.
don't get too terribly attached to it or your clothes. Give her the freedom to maybe make some changes or suggestions in the way you dress. Um, what about jealousy? We don't have
Or
to spend
Philippines.
much time on this, but are Filipinos, do they deserve the jealous reputation that
They look at jealous, hun.
some of them have? Why a Filipino be jealous of
What are you talking about? Jealous of?
jealous? Just let's say she's in a relationship and you see me talking to somebody else.
Of course, hun. Absolutely. I probably just snap you right away, man. Especially if there's an evidence.
Evidence. Well, and that's another good quality. People say they're jealous. Well, I suppose you can go overboard with that, but the day Isa isn't jealous to me, the day I kind of feel something isn't right if she didn't care. So that's a good thing. Now here's a question here. Do most Filipinas desire to leave the Philippines? In other words, when I talk to Filipina, am I supposed to assume that, man, she wants to hightail it out of there as soon as she
Of
can?
course, son, because we wanted to um just like I mentioned earlier that wanted to know what it looks like and feels like to live here,
Well,
and of course
so
going
then,
into different places.
okay, but doesn't that mean they're going to leave their family that they're so
Well, it
close
doesn't
to?
mean, but I mean, it doesn't mean that they're gonna live forever, but they will come back eventually. But leaving for good, for the sake of job, yes.
A Filipino will
For the sake of
sacrifice.
having a good future, yes. For the sake of giving their kids a better future, of course, yes.
And I think those are desirable traits of Filipinas. However, if she has some security, you're saying she'd love to go back to the Philippines too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she doesn't want to stay away from her family forever. That's why I think it's good to visit her family when she can really help with being away. Um, Parabiology 101, I've already done hundreds of hours of research. Definitely intend on visiting the Philippines at least 3 to 4 times before any proposal and get to know her and her family. So at your age too,
That would be a great idea.
that
Just
sounds
to
like
visit. Yeah.
a good strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I admit to being very, I decided, I proposed to Isa very quickly. Um, I just felt like I would waited 100 years. I just wanted to move quicker, and I was a little older than you are at that time. They can more so in the Philippines than here. Um, and then fit couple in the Philippines, listen to your girl. They know fashion better and just don't want their man to look outdated
Or
or sloppy.
sloppy.
Do you agree with that, huh?
Yeah, that
Okay.
word sloppy, man.
Um, hon, were you surprised when I asked you to marry me so soon?
I was surprised where it was soon, but I did. I wasn't surprised that you're gonna propose to me because your your words is really deep. You know, I can tell the way how you talk to me. It was really deeply. It was really deep.
That I thought about this for a while. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of knew where I was headed and where I wanted to go anyway, and I wasn't pulling your leg. I wasn't trying to deceive her. Um, so she knew because we communicated 4 hours a day.
Like every day, so I can tell that this person is really, really like his words are really so deep and so serious. So, but when he proposed to me, it was really quick. I was like, wait a minute here.
Now I put
I
her on
was
the
like,
spot.
yeah, I was like, this is so soon. But anyways, we ended up, you can tell we ended up um, getting married So soon.
Did you talk to your family
I
about
got
it?
married so soon.
Did you
What?
talk to your family? Say, hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Bob already asked me to marry.
Yeah, I talked to my dad actually.
What did he say?
Well, I can't remember what exactly he said. Well, I talked to my siblings as well and to my parents. And remember, you talked to them.
I
Yeah,
had
I
the
think my dad was like,
opportunity of
okay, I'm
talking to them
gonna
on
talk to this.
film, on camera.
Yeah, I think that was it. Like, they want to talk to you.
And I want them to. I want to prove every time we go back. I want Isa to go back happy and refreshed and feeling well taken care of. I want them to know that their daughter made the right decision. Now, a Western man, hon, as you know, might prefer to have options. Do Filipinos prefer focus on them, or are they okay with the foreigner having several girlfriends online?
Huh? What then?
The Western man might prefer to have options. Do you
Options.
Filipinos prefer him to focus on her?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Han. Because you have foreigners needs to be focused on one person, getting to know that person. Because how could you know each other if you have a whole bunch of people that you talk to a whole bunch of people?
Well, it's going to be a lot slower process
Mm-hmm.
if I'm juggling five women at once and going back and forth and playing catch up, and then okay, now moving more serious with this woman, and I would just I can kind of see your point of view where I would be saying, look, this could go on all day. You're serious about me or you're not. Um, I don't think it's a problem if the Filipina says she wants someone to focus on her. Some more comments here. Phil's Phoenix, just look at all of the OFWs.
Yeah, overseas Filipino workers. That's
They're
a stand for OFW.
they're generally willing to do what is necessary to provide for her family. I was watching another channel today that 30% of the merchant seamen worldwide are Filipino.
Filipinos.
A lot of the money that comes in are from
Yeah, just
overseas.
yeah, I think I mentioned earlier because they want to give a better future for their kids, for their family. That's why they that's why Filipinos go abroad and work abroad
Yeah,
to have a better life.
I think that's difficult to do when you're leaving your family, um, but it is admirable when they're doing what they have to do. Um, Honest and noble man, she could see that well. Um, it's like goes back to the question earlier about respect. How do you know she respects you? How does my wife know that my intentions are good? And that came from consistently hearing the same thing, and you know, kind of her gut feeling that yeah, this guy isn't, he for whatever reason he was alone for so long. He's serious and he wants to be a good husband. Thankfully, my wife gave me that opportunity. Yeah, overseas Filipino worker. Many Filipinos work in other countries for extended periods. In fact, his brother-in-law is on a 3-year
3 year
contract
contract.
teaching here. Yeah, they work on contracts sometimes, even, well, yeah, long overseas working on contracts. Um, so, hun, does it matter to a Filipina if a Western man already has children?
Mm, yeah, I mean, if you love the person, you gotta accept it, his kids. So I don't think it does really. You know, I think it's okay.
You personally, though,
But I
preferred.
personally, to me, I personally don't like a guy have kids.
You were looking for somebody,
Yeah,
and probably thought you weren't
but
going to find that, but
but if just like I said, if you love the person, we cannot accept the whole thing about him. So that includes kids. That includes the children.
you'll run across many of those as you learn more about the country. By the way, MILF does not mean the same thing there. I don't even know what it means here. MILF, middle something
What's
female. I don't know the acronym. John will tell us what does MILF means. I've seen it, I thought, on dating sites, but I could be mistaken. Yeah, we'd like to know, John, what MILF means there or here. I don't know either one.
I know the meaning of MILF
You
in our term,
you know? Is it
but
bad?
I'm not. I refuse to mention it.
Okay. Use your discretion, John. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But now everybody, hang on to your seats here because I want to ask guys about something that's no doubt on your mind as Westerners, and that is your opinion on an age gap marriage, hon. Age gap marriage.
Hmm. It does not matter. It does not. Well, in our situation, we have age gap, and to me, it doesn't matter. I don't care what people say. I don't. I really don't care. I care about you and me. I care about us. Because why? Because I love you. I care about you, and I don't care what people will say.
There you go. That's my wife's view on this.
If I heard somebody, if I heard, probably I'm gonna talk to them. Probably I'm gonna confront them, because it's none of their business.
Oh, um, okay. Well, now, yeah, now we know. Uh, Thank you for that definition. That's what that means. I didn't know MILF. So you're saying the age gap is
No, it does not matter, Han.
not. Nevertheless, hon, you did have some boundaries on your age gap. Um, you didn't say you wanted somebody 20 to 80.
Yeah, because if I uh this
So some
I
of
don't
it.
like younger ones, son, because to me um they just play around. They don't have that commitment. Still playing video games. Doesn't even care
Mm,
about to provide for the family. No, those that's why I don't like younger guy. I don't like younger than me or even the same age with me because to me um they're still undeveloped.
undeveloped. Wow.
Yeah, undeveloped. Mm, don't doesn't really think about of commitments. Um, doesn't really care about of having their own family because they just hang out. They just playing around. That's why. And to me, yeah, marrying an older guys is much stressful because you know to yourself that this person is in a stage of serious. They don't wanna, and then you know to yourself as well that this guy is not gonna hang out with friends and go to the bar and drink and even look for another woman. I don't think so
Well,
because all he thinks is just to provide. Provide commitments. Those are the kind of stuff that what is in his mind. And then if you marry younger guys, they don't think about those.
so if you're a younger man interested in a Filipina, and I think younger men should be interested in Filipinas, something that you might want to think about is your future and your job, your devotion to that one person, the things you do in your free time, and a Filipina is maybe more mature or ahead of what we have here in this country. So,
Yeah, mature. The
um,
maturity level.
however, would you also say, sweetheart, that it's possible that an older foreigner might not be the stereotypical mature guy, that he may still have a younger mindset and may still be immature, that just because he's older doesn't
But less
necessarily
in a
mean
less
he's more
percentage, and it's
mature.
in a less percentage. But most likely, if most likely in an older guys, they're more mature. More mature. So there's still probably, but it less could be, you know, 1 out of 10.
Okay. Do you think though that you think there's an age gap that's just kind of too high, too big, too wide? Is there a number that you would say?
And I'm not gonna mention that
You're
one.
not going to
That's
say that?
no, I'm not gonna say that. That's
Too personal?
too personal. I
Depends
don't
on the woman.
I don't yeah, I don't
Everybody's going to
everybody's
have their
different
own
and everybody's
preferences.
different. So I'm not gonna judge them if they married 90-year-old. Oh, I'm not gonna judge them. That's their own business, and I'm not gonna say my own perspective with that. I
Okay.
might hurt somebody.
Okay. Thank you, hon. So now that we've got that MILF out of the way, um, thank you for sending that to me, Parabiology 101. And here apparently means Moro Islamic, or there, Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Here, MILF. Fit couple in the Philippines. Margie says it matters a little. The point she makes is the guy needs to be attractive and fit and not be an old grandpa looking man.
Mm.
So everybody
Okay.
has their
Okay, everybody but
has their
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say my own. I'm not gonna say any comments to that.
to each his own. Wow, okay, wouldn't have known that. Yeah, Phil's been around. He knows more about Philippines than I do, so you might want to check out his channel when you have time. You can just click on these dots over there, and one of the buttons I think goes to see the channel, so you can do that. Yeah, Filipinos seem much more mature than Western women of any age. So they do, yes, live and let live. In other words, the point being, if you're an older foreigner, you have a good heart, you're serious, you want to take care of a Filipina, you love her, you want to invest in her, you want to treat her family right, what are you doing single? What are you doing scrounging around here in the United States or some other country? A Filipina can make you a tremendous wife. I just have a few more questions here that I know is on the mind of some other people, and I jotted down, so I wanted to ask Aiza. Um, well, actually, we kind of covered these, but how about this one? And I know this is just particular to my wife, but preference for fiance visa or spousal visa.
Spousal visa.
Some guy is looking to marry you, and he wants. What do you think about getting married here versus getting married in the Philippines?
Versus getting married in the Philippines. I'd rather married in the Philippines than here. And that way you could be able to see you could at least experience the culture, how what it looks like and feels like to be married in the Philippines, to be able to see the entire family, to have a conversation with them. It's nice to have, in that in that in that conversation in a wedding, so you can talk to them, you can see them. When it comes to visa process, I think spousal visa is a little bit longer, takes a little bit longer than fiance visa. But you can't um you can there's no amount of money to to experience those, how to be married in the Philippines.
I'm glad I did, sweetheart. I'm glad we got married in front of your family, your friends. I got to see what a traditional Filipino wedding was like.
Yeah, the culture and tradition.
I have a video on those Filipino weddings that I think are fantastic. In fact, we're going to be in another one
And it's
this
cheaper
year.
there. cheaper.
The wedding is
Cheaper
can be really can
compared
be
here.
5 or 10,000 here. I guess some people have done that. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money.
But
Oh, the food, man, the food.
yeah, I would recommend under most circumstances, a marriage John's
And
been married, did it both places, and we've talked about doing a ceremony here in the States, except
probably in a couple of years, huh?
you don't think it's too late now? Been over 4 years.
We can start anew our vows.
Um, we could. Um, I need to respond here.
And later.
What do I have to do right now? I just have to find. Um,
What's that?
okay. Yeah, we maybe could do that here too. Would have been nice to have my mother go to the Philippines. She is 86 now. She was probably 82 then. The problem was, I don't think she would have made it back from the Philippines because of the heat.
Yeah, she said it's hot.
Yeah, but we did have her tape a video. I don't know if it was voice or if it was. I think it was just voice, right? Where they played they played her comments at the wedding. So in effect, in some way, she was able to be there um, when we were in the Philippines.
Yeah, I gave her congratulations.
Yeah, yeah, she was there for that. Now, again, John's wife, is going through or did go through citizenship. I don't remember John, but you guys, you can mention it here too if you'd like, if you're still here. Those of us that have a wife that might be interested in being a citizen, Cindy would know what that process is like, and you might want to follow some of his videos on that on the YouTube channel, Phil's to Phoenix. So if there are no more questions, then we will wrap it up here. I do appreciate everybody's
thanks for having
comments.
Yeah, thank you.
Fit couple in the
for
Philippines.
watching.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody's conversations and contributions. John, Parabiology 101, don't be a stranger.
Fit couple in the Philippines. Thank you.
Come back again.
Yep.
And
what else?
we don't want to miss out anybody. We'll just roll back up here. We had Dave Knutson. Thank you for being here tonight. Hopefully, we were able to help you a little bit. Michael and Heidi, always good to see you here.
Yeah, Michael and Heidi.
J-Bud 5000. Got to see my watch, which is good. And it's good that he came back here after that little sparring match I had last week.
That's Mel's Buying Filipinas.
Mel's Buying Filipinas. Thank you for being here tonight. And I hope I did not leave anybody out. I hope I got to everybody's questions here. Live with Aiza, what a Filipino wants in a Western man. And in the future, hopefully people will benefit from this. Thank you, sweetheart, for being here, because it's not the same without you. Your videos, hon, have done very well.
Okay.
I think it might just be a coincidence. I'm not sure if it's a coincidence or it's because you're actually here. But that's going to be it for tonight. Remember, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be having surgery, and it's possible we will have to wait until thanks, Fit Couple in the Philippines, Doug. We may have to do a live stream on Tuesday, 2 weeks from now. They might not let me do it in the hospital. I may not want to do it that night.
When you're here, hon.
Yeah, all praise to God for the speed of this process. Everything is.
Oh, congratulations, Cindy.
Everything is hurry up and wait. The stages of the visa process, this immigration, citizenship, you got to study. I'm sure there's a few trips up to the immigration office, and then there's a ceremony. And I would like Aiza to become a citizen only to travel.
Not yet.
Not yet, but before
Not yet. Now I'm not.
before we go?
I'm not yet ready.
Yeah.
Not yet ready.
Well, and for me, it's not because I think the U.S. is better or anything like that. I just want to be able to travel to a few places. Traveling is just a lot easier, especially when you go internationally to
Yeah,
some places.
I know, but
And
not
that's,
now. Not now.
it's a deeply personal decision.
It is. It is. You gotta make. You gotta think about it many times. You gotta think about it many times. At least. Hmm. I don't know. I'm not yet ready. Bob has been telling me to do that. Apply for a citizenship, and I said, no, not yet. I'm not yet ready. I'm not yet
Yeah.
ready to give up my nationality.
Even though it's temporary, sweetie, you
Not,
can go right back to the
I,
Philippines and claim
um,
your citizenship back and become a dual
not
citizen.
yet now.
Okay.
Later.
See, I'm not going to force her on this. I know some husbands, really don't see the point of her not wanting to be here, but
Oh, did you ever find out
she's a
what
Filipina and she would have to
white
renounce her
flower is?
citizenship for a
And there's a
while.
question.
Yep, we did.
It's a
Let me,
small bottle.
it's a small bottle of something that you rub on your body
You
for
snip.
pain or you sniff it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you snip it.
White flower.
Yeah.
So
When I was in Chicago, there is a Filipino store, and then it's
yeah,
you know,
right
and
next
I
to
saw
Jollibee.
yeah, I've seen a white flower there. I wish I did. I did buy one. I wish.
We'll get some white flour
Yeah, we
when
will.
we're in the Philippines, and I appreciate Doug being your prayers. I keep thinking they're going to remove my leg or something, but they're just going to put in this artificial joint which can last 20 to 25 years. And well, I mean, I hope I live that long. That put me at about 78 or 80. But when it gets to be time, it's just time. And J Bud says here, you're
Oh,
paying the
thank you.
taxes. You might as well be
The
American.
American.
It's the part of rescinding your uh,
Not now,
renouncing. I
but
guess that's a strong word, but it's not really that way
not
because
now. Not
she's
not
not
yet.
ready for that.
Not, I'm not yet ready, but I will eventually. I will, but not now.
And then she can go to the Philippines and easily get it right back. But it's a deeply personal decision. Would I want
Yeah,
to go to
I
the
have to wait
Philippines?
until at least a few more
Yeah.
years.
Would I want to go to the Philippines and renounce my U.S. citizenship and then say, well, hopefully we'll go back to the U.S. one day where I can become a dual citizen? That's just a personal
I call
thing.
it in this old lady smell. Text me your address.
Old lady smell?
Oh,
Does
okay.
it smell
Thank
bad,
you.
hon? It should smell good if they want people to be
It
inhaling
it
it.
it does help when you are traveling, and then you have if you feel dizzy, you just snip it. It
That's what it's
help.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah. J Bud mentions dual citizenship, and that's something we can have. I don't expect that Isa will ever come back here once we leave. Um,
Probably just go visit.
she could, if
I
she
could.
had, she
Yeah,
could.
probably visit, but not to stay here.
I mean, but
I mean, who
who knows
knows?
about the future? Who
Who knows
knows?
about the future? But right now we're thinking about moving to the Philippines, and then if we have time, if we have enough resources, then we could probably visit here, but not to live anymore.
Not to
I
live
don't know.
here.
I don't know. I don't wanna. I don't know. I don't know.
I want
I
what's best for you, hon, and I think
let's
that's
see.
I think
Let's
that's
see.
the Philippines.
Let's see.
So yeah, we're going
Yeah.
to get a good dose of that coming up over the holidays this year, and hopefully have lots of videos from the beautiful Philippines, and that's coming up here pretty quickly. So hopefully the next live stream comes up quickly too. Look for it in maybe Tuesday in a couple of weeks as I'm recovering from surgery. Yeah, he's just saying if you're not a citizen, if you just don't go through that at all, then you might have issues getting your Social Security, SSI, and things when I die at over 100. Well, if I died at 100, then Isa would be able to get it right away. But he's saying that it's a little smoother process if you're a citizen, because when she's 60, she can get my full Social Security or my Social Security. I can't say exactly how full is, but that's something that she'll have to keep an eye on. She can still get that, I think, without being a citizen, and maybe it's just easier if she was a dual citizen. Cindy is going to apply for dual citizenship in October
Oh,
when the
that's good to hear.
conciliate does their fall
Oh, outreach.
outreach. And John, we'll have videos on that one of these days or years when we get to that point. But right now, Ice has got plenty of things on her mind and decisions to make, and we'll just wait for that one when the time is right, hon. So, sweetheart, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
I
you're welcome,
appreciate it
hon.
greatly, and I appreciate everybody being here
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you.
It's Monday night. It seems like a holiday
Yeah,
to me
see
since
you
I didn't
next
work.
2 weeks.
Be looking for Isa's next live stream here in a couple of weeks. Till then, good night, Bob and Isa from Love
Beyond the
Beyond the
sea.
Sea.
Bye.